we often have this idea that when someone criticizes us, when someone tells us things that we don't want to hear about how we could do things better, we live in this culture that has developed at some point where there's an easy way out to hearing criticism and to be criticized in whatever fashion it's being done. And that is to say, hey, you can't judge me. You're judging me right now. You have no right to do that. And that's an easy way out, but it's a bad way out because there's benefit to be gained. And not all criticism is the same, and how to recognize the right kind of criticism, how to allow some people to criticize us so that we actually become better, and disregard others. How to tell the difference and how to know which one is which is one of the greatest things we can learn. Generally, as a rule, and you might not realize this in the moment when it's happening, when someone is agitated, when someone is really passionate in telling you something, when someone is seemingly upset with you about whatever it may be, that's a sure sign. There's no way around it. That's a sure sign that in some shape or form they care about you. Either they care about what you think of them, or they care about their association with you. In some way or form, they care about you, because imagine when, let's say you're a carpenter and you're very good at what you do, and someone who has no idea about woodworking, someone who has no idea, has never done anything, looks at, let's say, a table you made and says, ooh, these corners are sharp, or that the surface is not very smooth, you could have made this smoother. You would not get agitated. No, seriously, you would not get agitated if you have the right idea about your work. If you're really confident in your work and you know exactly what you're capable of and you know exactly who is what and what is what, you would not get upset. You would just say, okay, yeah, I'll consider that next time. Okay. And you would just play along. You'd say, yeah, thank you for your suggestion, because it doesn't matter. It's not worth getting into. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're just being a little ignorant. That's okay. We all make mistakes. We've all been ignorant. We've all underestimated something or overestimated something, and so these things happen, and we forget about it and we just keep doing our good work, right? But if that was someone who you've been looking up to, someone who's even more advanced in your trade, someone who's older and more experienced, and from someone you really have learned a lot or want to learn a lot, and they criticize you in that way, then you'll care, right? Then your emotions will get going. But either way, in any of these scenarios, if someone seems to be upset with you, if someone seems to be angry with you, they must care in some way, shape, or form about you. So that's one thing. Of course, that doesn't mean that this person is doing the right thing, that you should listen to them, any of that. But it's important to just recognize this basic fact about this person. They care. Now let's find out why exactly they care, and if their motives are useful to us, useful to them, if they're right or wrong. Now, we've said that if they're upset, meaning the way they're talking to you, the way they're criticizing to you, points that they care about you. Next, we need to analyze what it is that they're criticizing you about. If they're criticizing you, or if they're complaining to you about how you embarrass them in front of such and such important person, or in front of their friends, or in front of their family, if you've done something that makes not only you but them in connection with you stupid, and if you're never to do that again, or if someone says that you shouldn't act in this or that way simply because it's against their personal beliefs, or if someone is too pushy about certain conventions that when you ask them about, they can't really put their finger on why it should be that way, what it's based in. If they say, well, that's how it's always been done, that's how it's always been done, and then that's what I was told. If that's their reasoning, then that's no good. Things like this, if they're not based in some kind of reason, if they're not based in some kind of morality, if they're not based on some kind of genuine interest in you and in the betterment of your personality, your mind, your reason, then that's no good. You can disregard that. You can say, yes, clearly this person cares about me, but it's for the wrong reasons. And I need to either depending on what it is, I need to either disregard what they're telling me right now, or even consider our relationship in general. But if they're upset with you and they're all up in arms, but they're talking about things how you again just failed on a personal commitment to be more kind, to be more honest, and they're disappointed in you about something like that, or they're seeing that you're not putting as much effort into the work that you yourself know that you should be putting more effort into, that you want to, that you just lose sight of things, that you lose touch, and that you have a tendency to be lazy, to procrastinate sometimes, and that you're once again slipping into that behavior. If it's about things like this that they're upset with you about, number one, like we said, they definitely care about you. And number two, they care about you for the right reasons. And that's exactly the moment, that's exactly the combination and the person in your life that you should not be telling to stop judging you. That's exactly where that kind of idea, where that kind of saying and behavior is harmful to you and to that person, to your relationship with a person who is actually genuinely interested in your betterment and is passionate about it, clearly. To say then that they have no right to judge you, and who are they to say these things, that's truly hurtful. That's truly hurtful also to your progress. So just even in a selfish way, it would be wrong for you to say that, for you to have that attitude. Sometimes it's correct, but even then, don't say that. Listen to anyone's criticism. Listen to it, because otherwise you have nothing to analyze. You must take that and not respond to it in the moment, but go away, let some time pass, and analyze everything they've said. But if in the moment you get just as upset as them and tell them to be quiet and that they're not allowed to judge you, and who do they think they are? Well, you might be telling the wrong person that, and you might be missing out on something that your own inner voice, which is far too quiet and far too suppressed at this point, is telling you. If someone is upset with you, they care about you. If someone is upset with you for the right reasons, you should care about them.